Hello everyone, I'm back. I don't know what the hell problem was. I think the OBS just hanged. I was talking. जब मैंने स्क्रीन पे देखा तब मैं हैंग हो चुकी थी एंड पीपल वर लाइक आर्ट ऑफ एंडिंग. मैंने बोला कौन सा आर्ट है जिसमें कोई आर्ट की बात ही नहीं है. आई एम नॉट एन आर्टिस्ट गाइस, सो वेरी सॉरी फॉर व्हाट हैपेंड, बट आई रियली डोंट नो व्हाट हैपेंड. दैट्स द मेन प्रॉब्लम. कभी कभी कुछ हो जाता है पर पता ही नहीं चलता है कि क्या हो चुका है. इसके लिए that was the problem. So this year we are at round number 6 and we were looking at Nihal's game, which was Petrov. I don't know where it kind of ended, maybe h3. Over here we were looking at this point. I hope everyone can join back and I'm hoping that और कुछ होने नहीं वाला है इधर. Otherwise सागर के साथ बहुत ही उसको डांट पड़ने वाली है because I just don't know. Full of 100 programs going on here and I don't know what to close, what to not, which work is saved, what is not saved. So definitely, but why is it written on the picture round 6? It's round 6 guys. The stream is round 6. This is round 6. Okay, so are you guys ready? We were looking at Petrov h3, bishop h5. As we said, black does not want to exchange and give double bishop advantage, and white played g3. Did you hear me in the last stream, or should I say it again very quickly? If you can help me to let me know, that would be awesome. In any case, I will tell again. G3 is creating a square, vacating a square for the king so that the king defends the f3 knight. My question to all of you was that yes, white wants to go king g2 so that he defends the knight and then go to queen c2, or he wants to develop the queen. So now if white's queen on c2 and white's king is on g2 and black went queen d7 here and white went king g2 over here. Now the question to you guys is, suppose white goes queen c2 after king g2, black to play. 1 second, let me do a random move just to make you understand. If white goes king g2, what can black play? Oh my god. Actually, what I really thought was not the right question, but let's see how many of you are also falling in the same trap like me. What should black play? Oh, Dr. Ashish Mehta is already visualizing. What should black play? Can you please show with it? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to show you everybody's game. But right now, this is a very interesting opening moment. And I am here explaining you Petrov. As Sagar says, oh my god, it's Petrov. The most exciting opening on earth. Yes, the trap which I fell for and which you all are falling for is after queen h3, it's all over. Tata, bye bye. That's the whole point. Yes, Prahlad senses. यहाँ तक ही देखा है. Short term goal. Problem is rook h1 and look at this king. Like a Maharaja again. There is no check absolutely and suddenly it's all over. If the queen moves, it's going to be check and mate in 2 moves. This goes here and bishop g8, bishop g8, king takes, queen h7. It's gonna be mate. Wow, what an amazing idea, yeah. G3 and king g2 could help you in other places also, because this is one of the most common pins which we know, which exists. So that's a pretty cool idea there. G3, in this case it is working. There are no other pieces which are trying to attack the knight on f3. It's not so easy, and that is the reason G3 is a good move here. Yangyi played queen d7, Nihal went king g2, and now Yangyi went bishop g6. Bishop f4 was played. This 100% we are going to check out this opening as well. Bishop f4 ko bishop e4 now. The bishop has nicely maneuvered itself yahan se yahan, and in doing so he has provoked some kingside pawn advancements. Okay, so bishop e4 has been played. If you take here d e4 and the knight is attacked, if knight e5, knight e5, d5, a lot of exchanges could take place, or black could even simply go queen c6. This would be simplifying. So definitely Nihal says no, I am not going to take an exchange over there. He goes rook e1, putting pressure on the e4 point right now, attacking it. Black goes f5, Yu Yangyi in full attacking mode. He has defended this, and the rook is also going to be trying to become active on the f file. King goes to h2 here. He had to. This is very nice because earlier this was a pin, and this king tried to say कि queen रानी मैं आ रही हूँ, मैं सपोर्ट करूँगा and then you can be free. But यहाँ पे it's like रानी says राजा तू जा, कोई बैंड नहीं बजेगा, मैं हूँ यहाँ पे, I am going to support this knight. And now यहाँ पे पिन निकल गया है, this knight. But imagine this knight, यहाँ से या यहाँ से, it has been in a pin for a long time. It's like soon it is going to get out of jail, and right now it is saying कि my imprisonment is going to be over and I am going to get out and wish for a new life there. Okay, so any chance we will see g5 today? Ask chess for fun. g5, whoa, possible, why not? Absolutely, it's in the air. Black goes bishop d6, and right now चूर हो गया है g5 idea. So what he did was trying to exchange this thing here, because white cannot just allow this simply and weaken the structure, and if white takes the bishop, then f4 later is going to be devastating. So what he does is, in order to not allow any exchanges there, he takes his imprisoned knight now out of the jail, and knight gaya e5 pe. Now what is this square on e5 called? Knight has gone to this e5 square. What is it called? Can you tell me? Who all know that? इसमें कोई इंजन नहीं बताएगा अभी के लिए, विकिपीडिया नहीं बताएगा, गूगल नहीं बताएगा, चैट जीपीटी नहीं बताएगा. Only one thing will tell you, that is your knowledge. Do you have it? If not, this is the time to collect it. Yes. Beloglavi, Prahlad, Ashish Mehta, Saumik Banerjee, Datta Nidumakalla, Pratyusha, Pavan, Sumit, Juma, Kanha, Mohan. अरे क्या बात है. And Sudipta and Tarun, this is outpost, absolutely right. It's a beautiful square, protected by a pawn there. It's also in the enemy territory, and yes, it's also on the open file. So knight e5, outposts are generally the squares which the knights are good at, and it is on e5. So he has attacked the queen. Black has to decide, does he want to take here? But that will cost him. That will cost him a lot, because now after d5, this bishop is attacked. And if this bishop has to move, it can attack the f2 pawn. But there comes bishop e4. You can see there is a pin. So d4 is not possible. fe4 is the only possible, only move to be played. And here, white to play. What should white play? By the way, I forgot that we have chat chess moves working. So let's now see on chat chess moves. White to play over here. Nihal versus Yangyi is absolutely interesting opening, and we are going to have fun to see this game. Chris asks, who is your favorite to win the tournament, Prag or Guki? Not really right now anybody, because all these top Indians, they're all our favorites. So I know it's a very diplomatic answer there. But, oops, oh, I had to update this as well. But, you know, just 3 wins in a row can change it all. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, this is the new link for our chat chess moves. Stop. And let me update it. There we have. Let's see if right now it wasn't updated. So all of you wrote the answer, but I'm very sorry. Let me read it out here. Saumik, Juma. Yeah, now it is, by the way, getting updated. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Saumik, Juma, Belogalavi, Chess for Fun, Tarun, some guy somewhere. You guys are right. There is a pin, as we have already discussed. And that's rook takes e4 over there. And immediate question arises is, but what if black takes the bishop on f2? Yes, that is fine. This bishop currently is strong. And the point is, this is a passer, so obviously this requires calculation and assessment both. It's not just a strategic, because you are weakening your king and it doesn't feel that it's going to be so easy, because in future g5 ideas would happen, all of that. But what ideas white is having in his hand is e6. That's something that he must take care of. But also a move like c4, which requires a strong calculation. You are attacking this, he will have to play c6, then you are attacking the queen again, this bishop is controlling this. Queen d8 would be a big blunder because of e7. Obviously you guys will spot it for sure. Queen e7 would be needed, and after queen e7 what you realize is the d5 pawn is now weak. So this position is clearly better for white. Though his king is exposed, he can play accurately and defend well. So knight e5 was played. Obviously black did not even think of taking here. He goes queen e7, and Nihal has a strong move here, a very strong move. Can you guys find it? What is the move for Nihal? We have now chat chess moves. It is updated, so we will be able to see that. Yes, wow, Jhuma, Saumik, Pranshu, Dothraki, Nilesh, Tarun, Arya, Chess for Fun, Pawan, and Swatika. Well done, guys. This is the chat chess move there. Oh my god, Stream Deck has a problem now. So maybe I'll have to show you. Yes, there we have. It's working. So we'll be having a lot more questions today. Stay tuned, and let's go back to our main scene. This is a great move, f3, very powerful move. The bishop is attacked, and you can see the queen has to be alert for discourse. You cannot think of playing such a move, bishop d3, because there is knight c6 attacking the queen. If the queen moves, then there is bishop d6. If queen takes d6, then this knight has time to save itself and then collect the bishop to stay a piece up, or at least win. Maybe it can get trapped, but it will win one of the pawn. Okay, so queen e7 has been played, and Nihal is thinking. I'm sure he will find the move f3, but for black it is important that he stays on his toes and he makes the only. If black here doesn't find the only move, then he's already in a very bad position. So it will be important for you, Yangyi, to find a only move. Do you have any suggestions for black to play here? Only move. Can you find it, guys? Some guy says Aditya Mittal already draw. Okay, that's an update. Okay, Yes, many of you have found it. Bishop e5 is the right move. g5 is not going to work because in our whole line, the bishop anyway captures d6 here. So bishop e5 would be the only move over here, and bishop takes e5. This bishop will still be attacked, but currently the black now has knight e5, or even if he takes bishop d3, queen d3 and move the queen away, this is possible to play. Okay, so this is Nihal's game right now. Can we quickly check Gukesh versus Haik Martirosyan? The last we left at A6 where Gukesh was thinking. He had 1 hour 32 minutes and he started thinking here. He went bishop b3 after 6 minutes. Okay, that's not too long. Bishop b3, bishop e6 is played and he goes knight f1. He ignores, he says no, right now I am not planning to give you such a file here to create an attack. So he goes knight f1. Martirosyan takes on b3. Queen takes b3 by Gukesh. Well, can you take here? Are you threatening that? No, that looks very, very risky. So, okay, let me just ask you. Rook e8. Let me ask you guys in the chat. If white takes queen b7, what should black play? बहुत basic question. Can you tell me what should black play here? Saumik, Abhibhav, Prahlad, Shubhi, hi Shubhi, Arav, Datta, Impatient, Pranav, Kanha and Sparsh. Well done. There is knight a5 and the queen is trapped because of one important reason which we should not forget. This pawn, if it was on a7, then the queen would go to a6. But this pawn is on a6 and that makes a huge difference because this square is not available for your pretty queen. So knight a5 would trap. Obviously you cannot take there. What Gukesh played is knight g3, bringing his knight as quickly to the... By the way, light square bishop has been exchanged, which means the f5 square looks beautiful. And black plays here a central break, d5. Already at knight g3, d5 already. He did not think of first developing the queen, completing the development. He is very, very active. And Gukesh does not think much. He takes on d5. It's a very, very obvious move there in a way because you are opening this file here. You are putting pressure on e5 here and queen d5 has been played, offering the queen trade. So do you want to take the queens here? Queen takes, knight takes. That is a question. But because black has slightly more central space, his knight can jump to f4 in the future, or he can get rook a d8. d3 could be weaker than e5 because no pawn can support it. So this can become maybe slightly difficult for white. So he is not going to take the queen there. He plays knight e4 again without much thought. A good move there because this also is threatening things there. And queen b3, is it still opening which we are seeing, or they are calculating on the board? Can we have a look at their camera right now and what's going on? How do they seem? Are they stressed? Are they relaxed? Anybody eating, drinking? Nothing as such. So yes, Arya, we are going to go to Praggnanandha's game soon. It's opening. We have time. Don't you worry. The two games right now we just checked and here a lot of moves were happening. So AB3, Gukesh has got this file semi-open. There is a doubled pawn over there. There is a doubled pawn over here. So it can be said as a very, very slight initiative for white because of the pawn structure as one thing, but it's not going to be so easy to convert, I believe, because you also have a d3 weakness there. But if at all Gukesh is able to, then it would be amazing. Rook a d8. just look at the body language of Hike. He seems relaxed. With that, in a way, he could be prepared as well. Guys, one question to you is, we need to support this. Now you cannot play d4, you cannot play rook e3, the knight cannot support, the bishop is dark squared, so rook d1 seems like the only move. And for rook d1, the move which comes to the mind is e4. e4 comes to the mind because there is a pin. So how is black after rook d1 e4 going to answer? What should white play? Sorry, how is white going to answer? What should white play? This is slightly a tough question maybe for all of you, but let's try. Let's try. And guys, no engine use, as we say every day. खुद का दिमाग, खुद का भरोसा. So we don't need engine. Let's be true to ourselves, because if you really want to improve, then this is how it should be. If you want to cheat, then you're lying to yourself, and in your life it's going to be very hard if you're a liar. So do not do that, and never encourage your friends to do that. Yes, few people have found it. Anurag, No Limit, Ayush and Sharvil, well done. Knight e1. But this is a good move, we'll come to it. But the maximum people, what they really suggested was, you can see here, d4 and b4. So if I must show you, because d4 seems like the most logical counter-attacking move. But the problem is, guys, it's a pseudo attack. What is the spelling of pseudo attack here, which I am meaning the pseudo? Spelling bhi chal raha hai. But the pseudo attack, what is the meaning is, it does, you feel it exists. It is not existing here. Lag raha hai, but nahi hai. Yes, absolutely. P-S-E-U-D-O, Ivan. Right you are. So, ऐसा लग रहा है, but because EF3 के बाद you cannot take, there is a mate here, it's all over. So it's not a real attack, it's not an attack here. So D4, that's why is a blunder. For B4, all those who had asked over here, if EF3 then BC5, good, that's a good counter-attacking idea. So B4 is also possible, in fact, because if this bishop has to move, maybe bishop goes to B6 there, then you can go knight e1. So yeah, that could be possible. But after rook d8, rook d1, e4, knight can go back to e1 over here, and this after e takes d4, knight takes d3. Be ready, guys. It's a blunder. Why is this move a blunder? Quickly. Tomik, Prahlad, Yashad, Ivan, Anurag, Jash, Kanha, Sharvil, Ashish, and some guy somewhere. तेरा नाम क्या है? So yes, absolutely. Rook d3, and what we know is the back rank is weak. If rook d3, there is a checkmate happening there. Okay, so knight e1 would be a good move, and for takes you are not going to take there, but instead you are going to take the h6 pawn over here, and this is a great position for white, because now the d3 pawn will also have some problems there. White has another pawn. So okay, in general, let's not go very deep into it, but it's going to be a great position. Rook a d8 has been played by Martirosyan, and Gukesh is thinking. Again, if we go to Nihal's position, because we had seen a few moves, knight e5, d5, bishop d3, queen d3, rook a d8 has happened, and Nihal is thinking f4 seems like a good move. Can we go to Praggnanandha's game? Because that is going on interesting. Oh my goodness. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3. Prag is white. D5. Knight c3 there, c6. Are we seeing something like semi-Slav there? Yes, we are seeing semi-Slav. Bishop g5, h6. Bishop goes back to h4. D takes c4. White takes control of the center immediately. g5. Now Korobov is a very creative player. Again, you must check out his games. Very instinctive player. So g5, he will choose many times such kind of crazy lines as well. Bishop g3. Of course, this is still a main line here. b5. h4. You are, look at this, यहाँ पे ऐसा g4 has been played. Knight goes to e5. Bishop b7 there. Bishop goes to e2. There this pawn is under attack. Knight b d7, but he simply castles, doesn't really take this pawn here, not yet. Is there a problem, by the way? It's possible, but maybe knight h5 he wants to delay. So knight b d7, castle. Rook goes to g8, trying to defend here. Rook goes to e1. Again, knight g4 would be possible this time because you still have 3 guys attacking and only 2 guys defending there. So knight g4, yes, definitely would be possible. He did not go for that. He went rook e1 and black went knight h5. If black tries to take here, then you can take with the bishop. Of course, if you play with d takes e5, then knight goes to h5, and knight goes to h5, and it's all a problem because now there is no knight on f6, so h4 is in trouble there. And if you go queen d8, then anyway there is no pressure on g4. So yeah, he goes, what happened, he goes bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5 here. No, this didn't happen, sorry. He goes directly knight h5, knight takes d7, queen takes d7 over here. Because if you take on g3, then these simplifications, knight f8, then you take on e2, then you take with the queen, and then the king takes on f8. And this position looks great for white with the center and the king not the best, and this bishop is still trying to, I mean, it's not winning or something, but definitely better for white. So bishop e5 and black goes bishop g7. So Praggnanandhaa has 1 hour 2 minutes. Korobov has 1 hour 17 minutes there. And Praggnanandhaa is thinking it's important that right now he must take this bishop, and after take he can then simply develop the queen, keep an eye on h6, intend to come rook a d1, intend to fix this pawn on g4 there by going g3, and then go e5, knight e4, because there would be this d6 square which will be a great weakness. Also the knight on h5, once g3 and e5 is played, it doesn't really have these two squares. So for it to maneuver, the journey will need to be knight d7 and knight f5, eyeing for d4, also trying to protect the d6 square. But at that point, the f6 square becomes weaker because it's not under control. So in general, these are the ideas which seem like great for Praggnanandhaa, and we have a very interesting opening. So let's see what he does. But Praggnanandhaa must take on g7 here. Shall we go to next game, Aryan's game? They have had a simple opening, it seems, c4, e6, English opening. Knight c3, takes bishop g5, bishop e7, e3, h6, bishop h4, bishop g4, knight f3, c6, queen c2, knight b d7, bishop d3, castle, and this has gone to queen's gambit, declined variation, and over here white castles. So yes, so white is not worried of bishop f3, gf3 and this structure, because black's pieces are not coming for attack immediately, and he's gonna go bishop g3. Anyway, there is shelter, so he will be happy with double bishop advantage there. So Aryan Chopra absolutely under control and having a slight edge. Can we go to the next position? Aryan says, whenever I push the pawn in front of my castle king to kick the bishops, I somehow end up getting trapped. What to do? Kick the bishop. Many times, Aryan, Aniruddha, one thing is whenever you have space in front of the king, like when you push the pawns, the space is created. And that space, if it is filled by pieces, then it is safe. So that is something you can try to take care if you are gonna get pieces over there. Okay, shall we go to the which game? Arjun's game. Arjun is black. Oh my god, looks super crazy. He is in another mode today, beast mode. D4, D5, C4, E6, knight F3. Bishop B4. We have Ragozin here. Bishop Catalan. Bishop D2. Bishop goes back to E7. I mean, it's converting basically. Knight B E7. Queen goes to C2. C6. Okay, now it's completely different. Castle. Knight E4. Black jumps in with his knight on E4 early before castle. That's why he's going to go for this F5 idea. Bishop F4. G5. Wow. अर्जुन एक अलग ही मूड में है आज, completely different, that too with black, and his opponent is very strong, Shant Sargisian. So G5, bishop goes back to C1, he goes F5, he says doesn't matter, king कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, today I am in a mood to play ferocious chess. Knight goes to C3 and he goes H5, black goes rook B1, he says अरे in future तू लॉन्ग कैसल करेगा ना तो मैं भी आ रहा हूँ B4 B5. तुझे क्या लग रहा है तू ही है जो अटैक कर सकता है? Me too, this is my chance. But Arjun says no dude, right now I have no plans to long castle yet. He goes A5 stopping B4 and white has gone A3. Maybe this is the time. Arjun has a few choices. G4, H4. Wow, he can in fact keep his king on F7 as well and then bring his pieces. So this is going to be a bloodbath, no doubt. And how much time has Arjun used? He is on 1 hour 3 minutes. Shant has 1 hour 9 minutes. Okay, that's crazy. Who was able to surprise? Did Arjun get? He has 1 hour 32 minutes, guys, if you check here. And he goes knight e4 at 1 hour 32 minutes. And his opponent thinks for not much, but 3-4 minutes. And right now, his opponent is also here. Rook b1 was the move which he took at least 12 minutes. So h5 was not being expected by him at this point. He does think a lot, and Arjun plays a5. But we can say that they are now in their original spot, because after 1 hour 26 minutes, Arjun had to use 15 minutes to decide whether he needs to stop the idea of b4 or not. So this is happening here. Very, very crazy again. Today's games are all very crazy. I mean, each and every game is so interesting. So मज़ा आने वाला है बहुत ज़्यादा. We also have chat chess moves working. Aditya versus Chaparino has ended in a draw very soon after 15 moves. Seems like all opening preparation there. What's happening to, yeah, next is Narayanan versus Mikhail Mishadishvili versus Narayanan. It right now is equal. They have had a Sicilian opening. A Lapin was played. ED5, bishop d6, bishop g2, quite g3 line, quite unusual in that sense, but not many games there. But finally, no, it didn't convert in isolated pawn. Just white has a queen side majority, black has a king side majority, and both are having double bishops anyway. So this rook f d8 has been played. It's all equal. We will see what will happen later, but Narayanan has got a good position out of the opening. Vidit's game here, oh my god, it's Scotch. What we are looking at is Scotch. Guys, how many in the chat play Scotch? Beloglavi says Arjun is copying Shiro. You mean following Shiro? That's cool. Fire on the Board was a book which Shirov had written many years ago, and it really was such a good book, and kind of that many people have that style. And if you get a chance, do check that out. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6, Scotch happening. I used to play Scotch. It was one of my. I never liked Scotch so much, but what happened with me was kept playing and playing and preparing, and it was very hard for me to change. So that was the problem, which was a very bad thing for my chess, of course. B takes c6, e5, queen e7, queen e2, the main line there, knight d5, c4, bishop a6, b3, g6. If you remember, in this tournament, we had seen a game with g3. It was Harsha's game, where g3, bishop g2, afterwards castle had happened, and in the end, the black rook came to e8, and whole exchanges happened on e5 point. Takes, rook takes, and white finally took this knight. I know it's a lot of visualization, but I'm sure some of you may be able to understand. Then this bishop takes the rook on f1 after castle, and it entered into that two pieces versus rook. So bishop a3 was played. This became popular only later. Knight b4, and bishop goes back to b2 here. Yes, these squares are being guarded right now, and the knight is on b4, so there is no queen b4 check. If you would have played direct bishop b2, maybe that would be the. Wait, if you go direct bishop b2, can black play queen b4, or it doesn't make much sense? No. Knight d2, yeah, knight c3, but there is a problem. White to play. What should white play? Knight c3 is a bad move. What should white play? Yes, Saumik. Well done. A3, and the queen is attacked, and this will be hanging. So if queen a5, then wait, can you go b4? Sorry, b4, knight e2, ba5. No, the knight is not trapped. So just the queen moves, and this knight is trapped because it cannot go anywhere, and it will be hanging. Okay, so that's very interesting then. Bishop a3 and going bishop b2 directly. Bishop a3, provoking knight b4, then going bishop b2. Bishop went to g7. We will try to understand more the idea. Maybe a few people in the chat might be knowing that a3 was played, attacking the knight here, asking him to go back. Knight goes back to d5, knight d2, castle, and long castle has been played. He goes knight b6. It's not still necessary to move the knight. You can actually go rook f e8. I mean, it looks like a better move to me, but he goes knight b6. He has 49 minutes, and Vidit has 1 hour 18 minutes. So which point was it that he had to really think a lot? Was it? Oh, he was actually thinking here. Oh no, guys, this guy came so late. Can you check? E4, E5. How much time is having? 1 hour 12 minutes here. Baap re. So he came 18 minutes late on the game. I always like Scotch, says Romain. Manu asks a small suggestion. Now, since the channel is very popular and is being viewed by viewers from all over the world, can you have subtitles or captions for content in Hindi in your channel? Do we have content in Hindi on our channel? I don't think we have much content in Hindi on our channel, but let me check that out. Ah, okay. Interview of Vidit's parents. Got it. Got it. Got it. Bishop a3, Medhan says first to prevent any queen checks and then playing bb2 so that the knight blocks its own queen. Yes, but that was, we checked that out, but it wasn't working. Okay, so here, oops, sorry. So he came 18 minutes late on the board, this guy Sanal Wahab. And after that, when did he use the maximum time? Let's check that out. Here, did he do that for bishop a3? g6 is played, and for bishop a3, yes. He had used some 2 minutes before, but right now he thought for 7 to 8 minutes. This is the move he thought. Another idea is to also go d6, which is also good, but he goes knight b4. For sure, he knows the line. It's not like he cannot know the line. The only thing is, he might be firstly deciding whether to go this or that, d6 or knight e2. But here a3, knight d5, knight d2, castle, long castle, and he's got knight b6. So Vidit is thinking, and white has a very nice, I mean, very nice move. Actually, it's nice. We all love that move as a whole chat, and maybe I can give you all a hint. Divya, that's the hint. White to play. The regular viewers will of course get the hint. Yes, Rachit, Maharshi, Mudit, Pallavi, Manas, Tarun, Beloglavi, Saumik. Absolutely, the move is h4. Divya's favorite move, and yeah, there was a game. I don't know if you guys have checked it. Divya versus Anup Deshmukh on our channel. It was in Nasik. There was National Rapid and Blitz tournament, and then she had, before the game there was some interview going on with Anup and Divya, and the next round they both were paired against each other. And jokingly, on the stream, like the live stream, Sagar was doing the live stream there at Nasik, and he asked something, and she challenged Anup to play h4 on first move, and Anup actually played h4. So you should check that out. And there is a video on ChessBase India. So h4 is a nice move. I think with it may go for it. Of course, he can also go for f4. But h4 or f4 with it will start creating play on the king side. So this again has been a very interesting opening which we have there today. Going to Arvind versus Luca, they have played an interesting opening too. f6 is the position currently, and maybe some play over here. Black has double bishops, but this can be a passer he must take care of. Okay, so things still are in control in this game. Nothing too weird has happened. By the way, Hippolito versus Leon yesterday. Hippolito was almost beating Arjun, but in the end, Arjun managed to trick him, and currently he's playing with Leon. This is the position. It's all slight edge for Hippolito, but still too early to say anything. Harsha versus Maxim Chigaev. Harsha is white and he has advantage mainly because of the IQP there, isolated pawn, though black has double bishop, but because Harsha has managed to have quick development and start attacking this pawn quickly. So one question to you guys over here. What if white plays rook d5? What is the problem? Actually, very tough. Not like clear or something. Yes, Kaustubh Vaidya remembers. Divya asked Anup to play h4 and he did, and she replied with h5. Yeah, if Kaustubh, if you can find a link and share over here, that would be nice for others to check it later. Oh, Sakar. Okay, then maybe it wasn't updated by the time, but thanks. Sylvester says, Hi Amrita, I'm from Tamil Nadu. I trained chess in my childhood miserably. I was not interested at that time, but now I regret for my carelessness. I want to go back on time. Time travel has not yet started, Sylvester. Very sorry for that. But I don't think you really need to regret because you were not interested at that point of time. It's just a simple fact, and you would be interested in a lot of other things. So that's good. Whatever you were interested, I guess you were able to develop your skill in there. And right now you're interested, so it's never too late. So welcome back to your interest for chess. So rook d5. The question I had asked, rook d8, bishop e6. Yes, Saumik says I don't know exactly. I like Saumik your honesty. It's not so clear. Number one is that firstly bishop e6 important because you take a tempo to develop and the rook is attacked. Now if rook goes back to d1, suddenly the bishop can go to c4, attack this rook. Now this rook moves to e1, then this bishop attacks this rook. You cannot save it here. You cannot save it here. Only move if you want to save your exchange is going knight d2, which for a moment looks passive. And then this queen will go to a6, again attacking the a2 pawn. This, you can see it's all happening forcing, yeah, right now in a way. White will need to go a3 so that he saves this bishop here. But there is an important move which black can again play and attack the opponent's queen, which is bishop d3. Again another attack here. Where is the queen going to go? Because if it goes to c1, there is rook a c8. Again the queen is attacked. Queen needs to go to a1 and the bishop goes to c5. So you can see this is how black is going to get compensation by activating his double bishops. And right now this is the extra pawn he's not worried about. With this compensation, he's sure that he will be able to recover the pawn. So it could be scary. You don't want to, give so much activity to your opponent. What Harsha played was very clear, not to allow the activity to his opponent. So bishop goes to e5, not taking the pawn. And you can easily see that material at this point is not important. So a nice move by Harsha. Putting his bishop on this diagonal over here. Okay, going to Murli Karthikeyan's game, he has a rook on g4, nicely placed over here. Also, you can see this bishop and the rook, and his last move was h4. h5 is a big threat right now with the idea of rook g7, and I think Murli has just an amazing position. This rook also defends the c4 pawn. h5 seems like the only move right now, but in general the position is great for white because his bishop is way more active. Going to Raunak's game, what we can have a look at is once all the games we can have a look very quickly, and I think 2 to 3 games have been left, then we will again go back to the main game. This is getting rash. Today Raunak is also in the beast mode. It seems like today all Indians are in beast mode. That's what it feels like. So f5 was last move by Raunak against Muradli Muhammad. So he is intending he has a big threat. What's the threat? Black to play. What's the big threat there? What is black's threat? He played f5. Yes, f4 is a threat. Correct, Saumik Pallavi Tarun Ashutosh Game Boy. f4 was a threat and you were trapping a piece here after f4. So that's why his opponent takes the pawn on f5. Okay, this is all under control. It's all going to be exciting. Shall we go to just Seturaman is already having a great position there, clear advantage. The pieces are way more active. The king looks slightly weak. Weaknesses around the king. So that's how it is. Abhimanyu Mishra is black and he is also having an advantage in spite of his king being exposed. Double pawns over here. It's a long castle versus castle, a war situation, and Abhimanyu is absolutely going to go b4, c5, c4, attack coming there again. What about our beast Adiban? What is he doing? Oh wow, that's the Martirosyan structure over there. F3 was last move by white. Adiban has nice knights placed over here. His bishop, actually normally the bishop is here or here, but this time the bishop we see is on a5, which is very very interesting. In Martirosyan, guys, what is the break which black has to keep in mind? If at all he can take it, which is the move that black must keep in mind against a structure like Martirosyan? Saumik, Tarun, Pallavi, Prahlad. Yes, this is the break, trying to completely break it open, simplify, which white must take care, because if black gets a successful d5, he is gonna get equality. Also, you may wonder, but yes, h2 is a weakness to take care of for white. So d5, we generally say it's d5. If you're just not getting d5, then look at b5, and if not b5, f5. But you have to break the structure. Okay, so these were all the games which we had a look. Can we go to Gukesh's game and see what's going on over there? Gukesh is now in a very focused position. He's thinking. Last we left at ab3, rook a d8, and here Gukesh did not play rook d1, e4, knight e1. This is the move which we were analyzing. He actually played bishop e3 over here, offered an exchange of the bishops, because after rook takes e3 you are defending the d3 point, and hike goes rook e6, defends this, also threatens to double here and put pressure here. He goes knight h4, looking at this beautiful nice square on f5. Knights are definitely going to be I mean, it cannot be kicked away, right? So rook e d6, rook d1, and now there is no danger of e4 because you have d4, so no more to worry, and then this pawn is going to die. So knight e7, hike stops the knight going to f5, and Gukesh makes an amazing move. White to play. What will you play here? Guys, do not check it out. Try to think on your own if you want to improve. But if you've already seen, then please don't tell the move. New Max, welcome. Tejas says, hi, match Sagar Shah in Phoenix Mall on Friday and Saturday. Such a wonderful initiative by ChessBase India. Kudos to you guys. Arey, thank you, Tejas. Thank you for visiting the club and the summer camp. It's all very exciting. I think weekends were a lot of fun. Yeah, so many people, because of so many people, this is happening. So many people are volunteering, and we have some nice, really nice team over there working together. It's a great, great. Feeling to meet so many people. Yeah, this over here is not so easy, but Gukesh plays this move. Tarun, Mahesh, yes, b4. He just made this move, b4. One thing is clear, if you have these kind of pawns, you are not going to play c4 ever. It's going to be a disaster. If you go c4 and say, okay, you are the backward pawn now, you are the backward pawn now, you don't want to do that, right? d4 is not happening. So he goes b4 right now and stops c5. He stops c5. Because if black goes for a move like b6 with the intention of going for c5, by doing so, he needs to weaken the a6 pawn. and that pawn is on the open file. So eventually it will become weak. So b4 is a nice move, stops black's idea, and now he will start progressing with, like, black went king f8, Gukesh will go king f1, and if you remember, king is a piece in the end game. It's not just the king like in the middle game, it has to stay safe in its shelter like in the igloo, but abhi it's summertime and it's ready to walk and enjoy the sun. Okay, so going back to the next game, Gukesh is in control. He has a slight initiative. We don't know how big it is. If Gukesh is able to convert, then we know, yes, this is how the positional play should happen. If Hike is able to defend solidly, then maybe this initiative is not going to be enough. Okay, so shall we go to Nihal's game, because that has reached a lot of simplifications. We last left it over here. Bishop d3, queen d3, rook d8, f4. Yeah, Nihal played f4. I think we left over here. And Yangyi played c5. Nihal went rook a d1, just typically placing his rooks on the central file. The queen goes to e6, becomes a blockader right now. Queen goes to b5, attacks both these pawns, double attack. So b6, double defense there. Rook goes to d2, defends the second rank here. Rook goes to d7. He also wants to be ready for the doubling the rooks. Rook d1, and black goes h6, all in control still. Over here Nihal goes queen e2, but there was another possibility for Nihal, also intending e4 a5 plan. He goes queen e2, rook goes to d8, queen goes to e3. Maybe trying to stop d4, because you also have to keep an eye on some tactics like this. Black goes king h8. This is still a slight edge for white. One reason is that you have a permanent passed pawn. This is one reason. Yes, your king is weak as of now, but maybe in the future you might decide if you want to play h4 or not. And I don't think this is a very easy advantage. f5 is going to be weak as well, but we will see if Nihal is able to create some weakness, because this d5 is being put under pressure. Oh, he goes h4. He'll make his king safe, but I think it's going to be hard. Can black play d4 right now? The move which we were